Barry, are you starting us?
I am. I
Great.
assume you can hear me.
We,
And am I correct? You can also see my screen with a PowerPoint of upcoming teacher enhancements. Is that correct?
we sure can. Thank you.
All right, terrific. And one of the things that I failed to do was to share my screen audio. So forgive me, I'm going to just redo that again. Forgot that little toggle. I think we're good to go now because we'll be showing you a video. So thanks
Yeah,
everybody for having me today. In addition to my current role, which I've been in Infinite Campus since 2006 and had the pleasure of meeting all of you in the Commonwealth from time to time at the interchanges, I was also classroom teacher for 17 years. I must tell you that, uh, it's a terrible thing that all of your teachers are going through, but they're doing it so valiantly. And it's really impressed all of us within the teaching and learning group. And we're delighted to provide you with the assistance that comes with the Campus 2104 release. As Dee Dee said, it is planned for Kentucky districts in February 10th. And I'd like to begin with just sharing you the quick reference video that's available to you today. It's on this website. I've pulled that up and I'm going to play it. Dee Dee, am I correct? You can indeed
Hello,
see
teachers.
this.
Thanks so much for taking the time to learn about some of the new and exciting updates that we have with Infinite Campus's campus instruction.
yes, we can
My
see
name
it.
is Shelly Johnson, and I am a training specialist with Infinite Campus. Coming up in an update in 2104, we're going to have some new, fun, and exciting features that are going to enhance your campus instruction experience. The purpose of this video is to highlight the simplicity of the most noticeable changes that you will see upon logging in for the first time after this update. First, let's take a look at the updates to the Control Center. The first icon represents your ability to take attendance. The functionality of taking attendance is exactly the same as before. By simply selecting this icon, you'll see the side panel appear and you'll have the ability to take attendance. The second icon represents the ability for you to score existing assignments. When I select this icon, we'll see the same functionality as before with being able to sort by all, unscored, or missing assignments. On my left-hand side index, we will see the Gradebook. Let's go through the easy changes in adding an assignment. When I select Add, the side panel will again appear. I now have the ability to enter in the criteria that makes up this assignment. Adding assignment detail information is exactly the same as before. However, there are a lot more defaults selected, so there's going to be less clicking and less data entry. The first criteria I need to enter is the assignment title. Then we'll see that the Visible to Class option is automatically selected, as well as the start and end date being selected as today's date. Moving forward, the assignment will automatically align to all students. The abbreviation will automatically be entered based on what you have within your title. The sequence of the assignment will also automatically be populated. In my term grade section, category, standard/grading task, and my point values will also be automatically populated. When I've entered in my criteria, I'll be able to scroll to the very bottom in order to save my assignment. Please note that once we save, we'll be able to add this assignment to other sections or schedules. In order to do this, all I need to do is select that Add/Edit icon, select Add Sections, and then choose any corresponding sections that I want to have this assignment within its gradebook. Thanks for taking a look at these new and exciting updates to campus instruction coming out in 2104.
So with that quick overview, I do want to make sure that everyone is aware of a change that was made, frankly, earlier this morning. That made that video out of date. We'll be updating it early next week. But teachers are also going to have the option of using the current control center with this release. So here's what the screenshot looks like of that. And you can see here, there is a toggle that the teacher will have the ability to turn on or off at their pleasure. Once they see that new look that you saw in the video, they'll also have a toggle where they can turn it off if they don't want to deal with it. So we're helping you manage the change that way as well. And that is a brand new change that we wanted to make sure you were aware of. And that will be in the February 10th release. And of course, there's a lot more to the update. We have a brand new functionality that districts can turn on to give their teachers the ability to let their teachers then turn on the functionality of asking a question that lets students just raise their hand digitally. We have heard so much about how helpful that is during this time, and we also see it helpful when normal operations have been resuming. Then there's also all these folders and navigations, and they're all documented in a 20-minute video that I will include at the end of this presentation, and it's also linked on the same page that you just saw. So what we're hearing from our teachers about all of these things is we're hearing that everything is easier. We've been doing a significant amount of testing with this release, and it's really interesting for us to watch teachers who have no prior experience whatsoever. We just ask them to take attendance in the new control center. They take attendance and they look at us like, okay, well, what did you want me to do that was different? Likewise, the same thing with the assignment editor. And I mentioned the benefits of Ask Question, and time again, teachers have been telling us, the ones that have been assisting us with the development over this past several months, give this to us now. We would like this as quickly as possible. Things with Infinite Campus need to get better, and this does the job. Your colleagues as system administrators have been saying that they also agree that everything we're doing is making things better for the teachers, but the timing could be better. There's a pandemic on, teachers are stressed, and we really want to reduce that burden on them of just merely the change, even if the change is to make things better. So what we've been doing is we've been doing a lot of listening, and we can tell that there's a perception that some people are ready for the change and some people are not. So we want to make sure you are fully aware of the options you have as school districts to manage portions of the rollout. I did mention, of course, the teachers get to manage some things with that new toggle. But, you know, we do want to give this change down to the size of a speed bump and not make it the size of Black Mountain down there in Kentucky. So the website I just mentioned at infinitecampus.com, I'll show that again, is right here. And I'll show you the resources that are up there. And then the knowledge base has already been updated. So if your teachers desire, they can go look at the Control Center video or the basics on an assignment, and more will be coming next week. I did want to show you this piece that was been told to us by a lot of school districts. This was really helpful in getting their brains wrapped around the changes. This is the Control Center as you know it today. First button opens the attendance panel, second button opens the assignment panel as you saw in the video. Now those buttons are over there on the left. And it's a very straightforward way of operating, and we encourage you to do it. The legacy assignment editor, one of the things our research showed us is we were watching teachers actually create new assignments, and we were really understood the need for the enhancements when we were watching teachers bounce all over the screen in the order in which these numbers are on this screen. It's kind of a game of mousetrap to navigate this screen. And now you can see with the enhancements, we actually just put everything in order. And this is one of the big things that teachers are reporting to us, is to making it just so much easier. And I did want to point out something that you may have had a question about as far as the abbreviation. You heard that we are indeed auto-generating the abbreviation. That's correct. But what the trainer didn't take time to display, it is in the full 20-minute video, is that abbreviation is still editable. Everything that we're auto-filling based upon what is most common, overwhelmingly common in school districts, is completely still editable as it always has been. So another point I wanted to help you understand as you consider the change management, if you have connected the campus instruction assignment editor to an external LMS like Schoology or Canvas, and you're deploying the score passback, so teachers are entering those scores in that external LMS, and of course they're just passing back, flowing into the gradebook with very little changes for the teacher from that LMS. There is no updates to that workflow. If they're using the API, they won't really see any of the assignment changes at all. And then other things that we want to point you out to is that the video showed you the editor without the enhanced curriculum tool right toggled on. The editor, as you'll see in the 20-minute video that I'm about to share with you, it greatly expands the teacher's experience. And if you have concerns during this pandemic that your teachers are overstressed, you have the option of not giving them that enhanced curriculum tool right. And as a matter of fact, you have a tool today. It's called the Campus Learning Usage Tool. And you can see the navigation steps here on the screen where you can sort by the curriculum content columns. And you will find your teachers who are indeed taking advantage of that full editor today. That you probably want to preserve access to it by continuing to grant them the enhanced curriculum tool right. But if you have a practice of giving your teachers a lot of rights, which we of course endorse, but you may want to think about, well, I don't want to force them through a change hoop that's too big. I'm going to take that away from the users who are not taking full advantage of the full enhanced curriculum tool right. I do want to point out that it is the same tool right today. And it is the same tool right after the release. There's no changes in the tool rights. It's just that the Enhanced Curriculum Editor tool right does a lot more with the 2104 release you'll get in February. Other options you have, you'll hear more about Ask a Question in the training video I'm going to show, but it's totally at your option as to whether your teachers see that option to turn on themselves or not. It is controlled by a portal preference at the at the school level. And you're in charge of that. So here's the full training video. I think we have time for it. And I'm just going to launch into it. You'll see it on this web page. If you scroll down, it says View Training Video 20 minutes for detailed updates to instruction and campus learning. So I'll kick that off.
Hello, Infinite Campus teachers. My name is Shelby Johnson, and I'm a training specialist with Infinite Campus. Today, I'm here to go through the different enhancements that have occurred with campus instruction as well as campus learning. The purpose of today's call is to go through some of the cosmetic as well as functional changes that have occurred with these two teacher interfaces. We will begin today's training by going through the enhancements to campus instruction and then transition to our premium product of campus learning. There are two initial messages that will display describing the changes and a new piece of functionality available to all teachers called questions. I will describe both of those now. The first item you will see is a notification of changes to the new control center now that it's here. This will describe the specific icons that identify the new changes within these updates. If you do not want to see this alert again, you can identify Don't Show Me Again. Otherwise, you can simply close. The other informational text we'll be able to see is identifying the new questions functionality. This is going to be an icon that's located within each of our different periods that displays a raised hand icon with notification numbers as far as how many questions have been asked. We'll also go through discussing what exactly we can use this hand raising functionality for. We have updated the layout from a row-based organizational model to a card-based view with each card representing a specific period. The default view is what teachers will initially see after the update has occurred. Let's take a look at how teachers can personalize each one of these cards. Period 7 is the default view, and Period 8 has multiple sections in it. Settings allows for the personalization of each card. Once we select Settings, teachers can choose a name for their classroom if they do not like the default name. Included sections will explain that teachers that teach multiple sections in the same period will see all of them listed in this Included sections labeled here. The questions functionality is initially disabled and can be enabled by a period-by-period basis. Therefore, you do not need to enable this functionality for each one of your sections. Next, what we can take a look at is the choice of an icon as well as the choice of a color. The icon will display next to your period name. For example, with physical education, my icon I may want to select is this football. After selecting the football, I can also designate a specific color. As soon as I've selected both of those items, I can choose Save. Then we can see within my physical education period, those items within the settings have been saved. The same functionality as far as taking attendance, as well as scoring existing assignments, exists as it did before these enhancements. By enabling the student questions and settings, students can ask questions from campus students that teachers can respond to. Let's take a look at a quick example. In my third period algebra class, I can see this hand raise icon. I can see any questions that students have asked about the class. As a teacher, I have a number of options. I can respond to the question, dismiss the question, or simply close. If I simply close, then we will see that the hand raised notification will still appear. It is only when I identify either replying or dismissing the question that the notification will disappear. If I have responded to the student's question, then they will be able to see my response in Campus Student Portal. Later on, we'll take a look at the student's perspective for what the answer will look like. Next, let's transition into the updates that are within the gradebook. In order to access the gradebook, it's going to be in my left-hand side index. Once my content loads, what we can do is either go to Add for a brand new assignment or go to an existing assignment that's located within our gradebook. For the purpose of today, we'll start off taking a look at looking at an existing assignment. In order to access this, I have a couple different ways I can. First off, I can select the hyperlink that's located with that individual assignment, or I also have the capability to select List. List is going to provide me with any existing assignments that are going to be correlated within this section. Clicking on the assignment provides a read-only view, and you must select Edit in order to make any changes. First off, at the top, you'll be able to see the breadcrumbs of where this assignment was created. So in my example, we can see that it's within English Language Arts Section 1. The assignment name is then located as stating it's the fiction versus nonfiction preference. Right away, we're also able to see some of the different assignment elements that are specific to this assignment. If we'd like to edit the assignment information, we can simply select Edit in order to make changes right away. The other options that we have is within this dropdown, if we needed to delete the assignment as it's no longer applicable to our students, we can certainly delete. We also have the score option, which allows for us to score students' assignments within the assignment as well as within the gradebook. Then we simply have a close if we just wanted to see this assignment for reference. However, let's take a look at the edit functionality when we are looking at this assignment. First off, in the section settings, we'll be able to see that this assignment is visible to class. If for some reason you wanted to temporarily turn this off, maybe you have a pop quiz, or maybe there's an assignment that's not quite ready yet, you can always turn this off so then it's no longer visible to class. The start and end date will always default to your current date that you created the assignment. However, you can always easily change that if you'd like to. A fun new feature we have too is the time option. Right here, there's going to be this icon that looks like a clock, and you can also open or end by a specific time. So prior, we were limited in the fact of using that time option just for discussions, and now it's going to be for all assignments. The last option is being able to identify specific students that will be assigned this assignment. I can select this all icon, and I can individually assign this assignment to specific students. Otherwise, if it's easier, I can also align it to a student group. Any students that are not assigned this assignment will then be exempt from that assignment. With grading, another great feature we have is being able to either turn grading on or off for a specific assignment. This just identifies whether or not that assignment is going to contribute to the grade calculation. Another new feature we have is for the abbreviation to be pre-populated. This will be pre-populated with the first letter of each word of the assignment. This field is still 5 characters, but you always have the ability to change. Scrolling down here a little bit more, we're also going to be able to align this assignment to a category. So here I have this specific category aligned to daily work, but if I wanted to align it to a different category, I can simply change that here. In my standard or grading task, I'm just aligning it to a specific term grade. And then the defaulted points is now going to be at 100. So if you're a teacher that uses 100 points for your assignments, it just saves you a little extra time from having to type that in. However, if your assignment is worth a different number of points, very simple to just come in here and make the change to the point value. We still support a single assignment that aligns to multiple grading tasks and/or standards. One update that we made was the ability for us to have unique categories per grading tasks and standards alignment. As an example, we can see that this assignment is currently aligned to the grading task of term grade. If I come down to Add Standard/Task, I can align this to an additional grading task as well as a different category. So within this category, I can change this, as an example, to Assessments and align it to a standard instead. This provides you with more flexibility of how you want your grading to occur. After we've added all of that content in our assignment, we can preview the assignment and/or save. So let's take a look quick at this preview. This preview option is awesome because it allows for you to see the preview of a teacher's point of view, a student's point of view, or a parent's point of view based on the assignment that you just identified. Then what I can do is within my preview, select Student Preview. It's going to refresh, and then this is going to be how the student sees this assignment in the portal. So it's great for me to be able to see, all right, so I've created this assignment and I want to see what my students will see when they are looking at it in the portal. In addition, we can also flip it to the parent preview. So right now I'm in that parent view of what a parent will see when they see this assignment within their portal account. Now let's move forward with saving. Once we've saved this assignment, we'll have the capability to add other sections or schedules if we'd like to align this assignment to multiple sections. In order to do this, we just select that Add/Edit icon. We can go into our Add Sections option and align to multiple sections. Let's say I want to align this quiz to my Section 2 as well. I can select Add. I'll see that it's been added to my list. Upon selecting OK, this is a new section that this assignment has been identified to be aligned to. If there are different start or end dates with this section versus my number 1 section, you can always make that modification. If you end up aligning this assignment to a lot of sections, and they will all have the similar start date, end date, and times, you can always use this great fill feature in order to fill in all of that information. Once you've made that alignment and any applicable changes, we can select Save Changes. Once we've saved changes, we can select Close, and then we'll be able to see our gradebook. The next item I'd like to go through with you today is the list view. The list view is located right next to the Add icon in the gradebook. When we select List, we'll be able to see all of the different particular assignments within this section throughout the year. What this can be extremely helpful for is if you need to search for an individual assignment, you have the capability to use this search option. That way, you can select the assignment and begin looking at the criteria of the assignment right away. You can also go back to the initial breadcrumbs in order to make another search. The next item within List is the capability for you to use the Copy feature. The Copy feature will allow for you to copy your curriculum from one section to the next. This can also be across school years. Let's say I want to copy some assignments from my English Language Section 1 into my English Language Arts Section 2. What I can see are any existing assignments that are within my Section 2, as well as my source curriculum within my Section 1. Upon default, it will select all of the assignments. However, if there's just specific curriculum that you would like to copy forward, you can simply just select on the checkbar. Next, we can select the Next icon. In this last step, we'll be able to see the list of assignments we're copying from one section to the next. Just like with our other editing tools, we can change that start and end date as well as whether or not this assignment will be visible to the class. Upon selecting Save, those copies will be successful, and now my English Language Arts Section 2 will also have those assignments within their gradebook. At this point, I can close out of the curriculum copier. Thanks for taking a look at all of the significant changes that have been updated for campus instruction. In our next lesson, we're going to go through campus learning and some of the additional enhancements that are within that premium product. Next, let's transition into the campus learning updates that have occurred within the Control Center. If you are a teacher that uses campus learning, you can use the Control Center in order to complete the items that we talked about earlier in our call today. But in addition, you also have the capability to use discussions. With discussions, all you need to do is select this chat icon, and it will bring you to the discussion panel where you have the capability to create new discussions as well as view existing discussions. Next, let's transition into the updates to the gradebook. In our left-hand side, we'll navigate to the gradebook. With campus learning specifically, there's a couple of additional options that you have with the new updates. First off, when you go to add an assignment, now you'll see that there's a down arrow that appears. This will provide you with the ability to create folders, add resources, add assignments, create discussions and quizzes, and add submissions. Not only do you have the capability to do this from this add icon, you also can from list. Once I select list, we'll see that just like within our traditional campus instruction, we now have that list of all these specific assignments for this class. However, we'll notice that this add icon is a little bit different. The first option we have is folder. Folder allows for you to organize your assignments in specific folders that are accessible for your students. This just helps with more organization and provides you with having the assignments in an easy to look at fashion. Next, what we have is resource. The only difference between resource and an assignment is that resource automatically disables grading. If there's ever the chance where you develop a resource that needs to then be turned into an assignment, all you need to do is turn on grading. An example I have is within this course resources. What this will do is when we add a resource, rather than that being a specific assignment, it will be automatically excluded from grade calculations. So then a student can go into the portal and have access to all of these different course materials. First, let's take a look at how we can add an assignment using this new editor. Within Add, we'll be able to identify that the assignment now has a little bit more of this modern interface and interactivity that our old editor did not have. Going through all of these items briefly, we'll just talk about some of the enhancements that are within this campus learning versus what we had within campus instruction. Many of the settings and grading items are similar, but what you'll notice is that the summary is now going to have a new WYSIWYG editor, which what that is it's just the way where we can identify how assignments are going to be described or any notes that are necessary for your students. Scrolling down below, we also have the attached content is going to look a little bit different. First off, we have that capability still to attach a file. It's very easy to use. All you need to do is drop your file or upload it to this section. We also have that Google Drive connectivity. And so if your district has enabled Google Drive, you can attach documents from your Drive account in order for your students to have access. Learning Tool is if you're using a third-party system. These learning tools are just the way where we can connect those items of content within the specific assignment. Then we have this great notes section. Within notes, this allows for us to create notes that are going to be displayed for our students and teachers or teachers only. Next, what we have is add a task. So we have the scored discussion option, which is going to be located here. Quiz, which was previously referred to as quick assessment. And then we also have, last but not least, submission. So if you want to enable student submissions for files, as well as the editor and or Google Drive, that functionality still exists. It's still located here. In addition, with campus learning, there's also the scoring rubric. If you are wanting to incorporate a new scoring rubric, then you can add that to that specific assignment. Just like we saw with campus instruction, if we select this preview, you also have the capability to view this assignment with those 3 different previews. So before within campus instruction, campus learning, we typically would create an assignment and we would attach a discussion or quiz to that specific assignment. However, now we can work a little bit backwards. So let's say you want to really quick make a discussion for your students. Maybe you forgot and last minute you're wanting to add that discussion for the purpose of today. Then what I can do is using this down arrow is come quickly to that discussion option. So just a very generic discussion going on here. But then we can see that the discussion is automatically going to populate with that description. I didn't have to click on any buttons or anything like that to designate that it is a discussion. Then what I can do is add that description, still enable students to edit their responses, and then I can save. So now that I have that discussion created, I can always go through and edit it again, as well as go through the scoring functionality or closing. So this is just a little bit of a different process. Again, you can complete the discussion by adding an assignment and linking it to discussion, or you can work a little backwards and complete it by having the discussion and then identifying the point value. Thanks for taking a look at all of the updates to Campus Learning. Next, what we're going to transition to is what the student will see within Campus Student Portal. Now we're transitioning into the student perspective of these new updates. So first, what we're going to see is the ability for students, if they'd like to ask questions to the teacher online. This is referencing that question icon tool that's enabled at the settings within the teacher's control center. This will just describe how students can access this information, and then they can always turn it on or off to say that they don't want to see that message again. This is the Students Today view. First off, as a student, I'll be able to see any assignments that are due today, tomorrow. Then what I'll be able to see is the raised hands question functionality available with each one of my courses. As an example, we can see that this green message means that a teacher has responded. This orange raised hand icon is an unanswered question, meaning my question still hasn't been answered by the teacher. This white hand indicates that no question has been asked thus far for that class. In order to see the response, we just need to simply select that icon, and we'll be able to see the teacher's response. As a student, then I can resolve, or I can continue by asking another follow-up question. When I select assignments on the left-hand side, we'll be able to see all of the list of assignments that the student has based on the type of assignment that has been assigned. So for example, we're able to see the corresponding images with the types of assignments that are located here. This is our discussion icon, our quiz icon, and our assignment. Let's take a look at this prepositions quiz. As a student, I can come in here to my prepositions quiz and see the summary of information about that specific quiz. Right here, we have an embedded YouTube video, which is also a wonderful and great feature that we have with Campus Learning. Not only do we have this summary, but another item I'd like to show you is that if we select that specific class, we have a lot more information we can also view. Here within course info, we're able to see the teacher information, course and section number, as well as period. But what I particularly like about this is also within curriculum. So just like our teacher perspective, we also have that capability to search that section for individual assignments. This is also where we have the ability to access resources. So that resource option, which is the ability for us to view documentation that is provided from the teacher, we can go into course resources to see that information. I want to say thank you so much for attending this quick training on campus instruction and campus learning updates. We really appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedules to learn about these new updates. So again, thank you so much for taking a look at these updates, and we hope to see you at a future training.
So that's what I wanted to share. I think with the time remaining, let's see if there are any questions.
Barry, there's a couple questions, and if anybody does have additional questions, you can put those in the Soapbox app. The first one is, for new assignment editor defaults, are elements such as points defaulted based on that teacher's prior choices, or just what is the most common across all customers?
So the 2104 release is going to include the merely the 100 points default. The assignment defaults are going to be coming back in 2108. We learned really quickly how few teachers were using the assignment defaults, and we wanted to make sure we didn't let that hold up the release another couple months here.
Okay, thank you. And just for everybody, so we're talking code sometimes, 2104 to Kentucky means the second Wednesday in February. That's when that's planned to be taken. The second question is, will students be able to ask a question within Campus Student app automatically once the release is out, or will each teacher have to make a choice to accept questions that way?
So it's actually there's even so the short answer is no, and the longer answer is, first the district needs to make the choice that they want their teachers interacting with the students this way. Once the district says so, what they do is they click the box on the portal options. That enables the checkbox for the teacher in that settings that you saw. Then on a by period basis, the teacher's making a choice. I want to interact with my students that way. Once the teacher checks the box that says ask question will be available to the students in this period, it's only then that the student would be able to see that hand raise icon.
Okay. I am not seeing any other questions. And if you want to go over one more time how the district can turn off and what functionality that impacts, because I think that was new today and I don't have all the answers for that.
Sure, let me get that PowerPoint back up for you. And I'll just come right over to that slide because it is this screen that is brand new to everybody and was not covered in either of the videos. We'll be reshooting these videos, by the way, next week to make sure they're incorporated here. And that's this checkbox. This is not for district control. You can see here I'm logged in as a teacher in the control center. So,
we're not seeing your screen right now.
Oh, I apologize. You can tell it's a rookie. So here we go. Am I correct? You can see it now?
Yes, you can see
All right, super. So this is the teacher screen that when they log in to this February 10th release. And this is new enough that I apologize and didn't get into these videos. And we'll be updating the videos next week. But that red box is highlighting that the teacher's in control of which kind of control center they get. Do they want the one that they've always had, or do they want to flip that toggle and get the new one that's been portrayed in the videos? Only with the new one would ask question be available.
Okay. So if the district would turn it off and the district would turn everything on in the student portal, all of that, and then the teacher just said, I don't have time to learn this right now. At a teacher level, they could turn it off and work with what they've always worked with and be more comfortable.
Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not saying they wouldn't like it. I'm just saying that if they had concerns.
Well, you know, we're really clear that this is an extraordinary year in so many different ways. And at the same time that we wanted to get these new tools in the hands of districts to give to their teachers, because we've heard so much good things about them. We also know that there are some teachers that is just like, there's a lot. And giving them this toggle, I think, is a useful thing.
Right. Thank you. Infinite Campus continues to be a great partner. We've come out with a lot of new functionality this year. It has been unprecedented, you know, with what everybody's gone through. So we do appreciate continuing to enhance the product to better meet the needs of Kentucky teachers and districts.
Well, thank you. That's high praise, and we really appreciate it. It's been just a marvelous relationship, and we look forward to it continuing for a long time.